Hi, I'm Nate, and this is Under the Radar, where we reveal off-camera observations of authentic athletes. Today, we'll look at the story of current University of Minnesota freshman Laura McClary and Case Western University freshman Halina Tompkins. However, the focus is on their experience on St. Paul Central's high school cross-country team, Laura and Halina's leadership on the team, to how the team supported Laura when she was injured, and vice versa. Then we'll dive into Central's attempt to make state for the first time since 1999. Laura and Halina were amazing to have on the podcast as they were both incredibly passionate about their sport, but more importantly, their team and the team's success. Their presence on Central will surely be missed and is a great example of leadership for future leaders on the team to follow. So let's dive into the authentic athletic lives of Laura McClary and Halina Tompkins, and let's see what we can learn from them and what their lives are truly like under the radar. Who inspired you to start, and how did they do that? How have you been able to cultivate meaningful relationships with your teammates outside of practice? How have you learned to separate your personal identity from your sport? What would you like to say to the people who look up to you?
If I had fun, the results would come with it.
Focus on yourself and focus on the process, because your process is your process.
Running is life. Life is not just running.
Everyone has their own struggles at the end of the day that you don't really know about.
It's much easier to tackle it together instead of just being alone.
I'd be in my fuzz with Grace, or I'd be in my pack with Grace and Allie.
So just briefly dive in, what got you started into running?
Both of us kind of had athletic backgrounds, I guess, but then we both tried out for the volleyball team our freshman year, and we both got cut. And we both ended up on the cross-country team.
And then we started running, and we were suddenly varsity, and then we didn't stop. And now we're here.
But you've never run before freshman year.
I swam competitively.
You swam, okay.
Laura played gymnastics.
Okay, cool. So it's more like a secondary option, or did you even consider it in the options, or after you both got cut? Was it like, oh shoot, what do I do? Or was it more of a, oh, if I were to get cut from the team, I would try cross-country running?
It was more like what was left.
Yeah, I actually wasn't gonna do a sport after I got cut. And then I was still gonna stay in shape, and my mom saw me running on the treadmill and was like, "Queen, just join the cross country team."
Oh, that's really funny.
It's always an intrusive thought that I think a lot of people have, or parents have, where it's like, oh, you should do this, join this cross country team because you look good once in a treadmill.
Yeah.
And you actually did it. And as we'll cover here, it worked out pretty well. So when you guys were first starting out for freshman year cross country, you guys joined Central as kind of new recruits, I guess. Mm-hmm. Who would you say one person within the two of you that really inspired you to keep doing running, whether it's a coach or a parent or something?
That's a hard one. I guess there was a really good class of seniors that year. Yeah, I think was really inspiring. Iris Guider, Penelope Hansen, Samuel Robertson, Duncan.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't remember his last name.
Yeah.
Sorry, Duncan. But especially Iris, she was setting the school record, and it was really cool to see someone just run so beautifully and effortlessly. And the team environment was really good. And our coach at the time was really, it was so sad when she left, but she was really great. And, she had this love for running, and I think that made us fall in love with the sport. So then when the people changed and the coaches changed, that love stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So expand more about Iris and how she kind of pushed you guys forward in that first year, and maybe not some performance standpoints of what you did, but more of the team morale encouragement standpoint.
Yeah. I think it was just really cool to see someone who was running so much faster than everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I remember one race that really stood out was conference during our cross-country season when her and Molly Manning kind of fought it out. And it was just inspiring to see that level of grit and stuff. And I think that she was always just really sweet and positive. And
I think it was really isolating for her because a lot of the times she was training on her own, or she was training with the boys, which we have done now. But
yes, we had each other though.
Yeah, that's true. And she didn't. And kind of seeing her continue to show up and just always with a smile on her face, even if she had a rough race. And I think at a certain level, if you have a rough race, the people around you don't really see that what their good is for you is your version of bad. And so even through those moments of frustration, she kept a smile on her face and kind of kept going.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of shaped the way we saw like elite performance.
Yeah, cool. So thinking about Iris too, but also like your coach in those early years, how did your coach really build that culture of morale and team togetherness that early in the team that early? Like what made her so great?
Morgan, she was just lovely. I don't know.
She's just lovely.
Like there's just no bad words to say. Like she was very motivated and driven to make the team better. And I think she had a really strong plan for development. And she was just like really excited, specifically, I think, like for the girls team.
Yeah.
Like she was just really excited because we had a lot of younger athletes. And you could just tell that she really cared.
Yeah. She definitely felt like kind of a mother presence.
Yes.
And I think she also, like me and Laura going into it, we obviously didn't have much experience. At least my freshman year, I wasn't very ambitious with my running goals because I didn't really know what was going on. And she kind of did that for us when we didn't really know what to do. Like she was putting us in these races and being like, you can go faster, you can do this. And like, it was never in a toxic way. It was in just like a kind of belief way where it kind of instilled a belief in ourselves and like this ability to goal set.
I remember I was talking to one senior freshman year of track, and they had like 3 pieces of advice for me, and one of them was just always trust Coach Morgan. Like she was just very intuitive about the sport, I think, and she was very wise.
Yeah.
Cool. So knowing all that, what did the first day of practice look like? And how did you feel going into it, and how did you feel leaving it?
I remember I had injured my hip at volleyball tryouts. Do you remember that? And we meet at like this little tree area by the tennis courts, and I went over there and I found Morgan, and she was carrying a bunch of cones, and she kind of pointed me in the direction of the team, and then suddenly everyone started lunging, and then I see like Laura, and she has like a mask on, and she's kind of like in the corner, and everyone started running like really fast, and I was like, what's going on right now? And I stuck around, and then I don't know. Yeah.
What day did you, because my day of, my first day of practice was like different than like other people's days. Like, did you join like?
I joined late because I was at volleyball tryouts.
Okay, me too. Yeah. For me, I remember everyone was really, really chatty, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. I also remember getting in a fight with my dad because I didn't want to like buy new running. I was like, I can just wear my tennis shoes. I did not wear my tennis shoes. I don't know. We had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
It was fun though. And immediately I just remember being like, wow, like this team culture is like really good.
Cool. Awesome. So Laura, you were a captain your senior year of cross country.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of curious, like, so you were captain of how many other people?
A lot. Like, yeah, something like that. 100. Honestly, the number kind of dwindles towards the end of the season.
What were some specific like team bonding activities that you guys did as a group that really helped bring the team together?
Yeah, so every year we do marathon weekend, which is really fun. It's just like a good experience. It sounds like more work than it actually is. We just run a total of, the goal is to run a total of like 26.2 miles over the course of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But a lot of people will only do like a half marathon weekend where they just run like 13.1 miles, or some people don't even do the half marathon and they just
run.
They just
have a good time
for the vibes. So that's like definitely a highlight. We have summer practice like 6 days a week. I didn't go to the Saturday ones this year because I was injured, and that was my cross training long run thing. Yeah. And then also we have the camp out every single year, and that's definitely a highlight. We go camping just like for an overnight. Where is it?
Lake Elmo.
Yes. It's a lot of fun. And then we have Nike, obviously, every year. So those are like the 3 main things.
So getting back to those summer practices, like I know I kind of looked through your schedule, and that's kind of like a pretty interesting schedule. So describe like what you guys do during a typical week.
Yeah. So last year the schedule was actually different. There have been a few changes just as far as like where we're allowed to practice and stuff, just with things moving around so much and like trying to adhere to like MSHSL guidelines and everything. So last year we did Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday as morning practices at 8 a.m. just at a park near our school, Dunning. And we would just meet, do a lunge matrix, run, and then probably like some core. Fridays are like fun days where we'll still run a little bit, but we try and have like a team bonding activity. And then Wednesday night runs were my favorite. We met at 7 for games and then 8 for the actual run. So there's always like a really pretty sunset, and it's just like the vibes are high. No workout, it's just an easy run, which is so nice. And then Saturday is 9 a.m. long run. It's kind of shorter in the summer, but yeah, some people will go and bike too.
What's your favorite route that you run and why?
We don't really have a lot of runs.
We have 2 routes. We go on Summit on the grass portion for our shins, and
There
we'll
you
go either toward the river or toward the Capitol.
Right or left?
Yep.
I like right better.
I like right too.
So every October they run the TC Marathon, right?
Yep.
And I always hear the story. Mile 20 is a giant hill on Summit towards the Capitol.
Yeah.
So what have your experiences been on that?
We've done workouts on that hill. I've done hill sprints on that hill at the end of runs.
Oh yeah.
We end at that hill sometimes to go get Jamba.
Yes. I love that hill.
It's I think hills make you stronger and you learn to love them. So I love that hill.
Yeah. I remember one year we did hill repeats at like the bottom of the hill, and there was a guy playing the bagpipes.
Yes. That was fun.
He's there fairly frequently, which is always kind of fun.
He's
Extra motivation.
Yes.
Well, college is going to be like that. They'll be like guys throwing frisbees and playing bagpipes. Like I was running into them, like flipping down the commons this past spring. I was like, oh wow, this guy's throwing a frisbee around.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it at Central. Maybe. I mean, you did, but like, I don't know. So you mentioned like the changing of a schedule, like you're moving between different locations and practicing at different locations. Did you find that to be a good experience to kind of change the vibe of the locations, or would you rather have it be more uniform and, make a little bit more sense?
What did our coach say? He said, adverse conditions make stronger runners.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of the case with the changing of their practice. Like you need to be adaptable. And like your body needs to be used to running at different times in different places on different routes. So, and it kept it, I don't think running gets boring, but like it can get very repetitive. And so it's fun to add a little bit of spice.
And Central's very landlocked. So it was nice. Like we would meet at Como Lake, and there's algae there, but it was nice. It
smells a little. Much.
And then we'd also meet at Summit Hill, so that's where we would do hill sprints typically, which are nice.
Cool. So now we're going to move on to camp. We mentioned that a little bit just a few minutes ago. Camp is at Lake Elmo, obviously. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys do at camp in a given year?
We don't run.
You don't run?
We do not.
It's very much like just one night. We'll spend, I don't know, we kind of just like sit there and vibe.
Yeah,
like
there's
team
games,
bonding games.
There's hot dogs. It's I'd say that's our like main team bonding activity.
There's spike ball tournaments.
Yes.
Those are big.
Those get very intense.
Cornhole. Yeah.
It's pretty tame.
Yeah.
Pretty tame?
Yeah.
It's really, We also go out into the field sometimes at night, and we'll do like
trips across the ocean.
Yeah, trips across the ocean, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's some like just chill stuff.
Yeah.
But like that's intentional, and that's like something that is placed in the beginning of the season to help really build that team culture. Mm-hmm. So what would you say are like, this is for you, Laura, specifically, but like what would you say like you as a captain do and like intentionally plan that time to make sure each person on the team feels welcome and really valued on the team?
I think for me personally, what I find really is important is the individual conversations. Like during the camp out this year, I was really focused on kind of seeing people who were maybe in the corner, like reading a book, and I don't know, just anything like that where like you aren't sure if they feel comfortable joining the team environment, and kind of trying to bring them in, like, oh, like, you look like you don't know anyone. I'm going to talk to you, and then I'm also going to talk to this other person, and then I'm going to introduce you to, and kind of like form the web a little bit and kind of like introduce them to the culture that is Central Cross Country. So I don't know, stuff like that. And then I guess just really meeting the runners where they're at and kind of trying to see them obviously more as like people than runners. Like I try to kind of stay away from talk about cross country and just be more like, oh, like, do you have any siblings? Do you have any like pets? Just stuff like that to start out easy.
Yeah. So Halina, you saw that kind of happen, that process of like welcoming people on the team together happen during camp. So what would you say like the effect of, I mean, Laura obviously, but also the other captains, and how did that effect of the captain's leadership at camp really improve team culture at camp?
I'm not just at camp, but in general, I think the captains kind of took the lead on making connections between individuals that wouldn't have otherwise connected. And I think it kind of gave people a community, and you kind of saw that build as the season went on, and the captains continued to support the younger team members. And I think it was reflected in the cheering on the team. Like everyone cheers for everyone. And our coach would tell us that, you know, at meets, they would get compliments from other coaches that our team was like the loudest and that we were cheering for the most people. And I think it's just reflective of the team culture, and it's kind of hard to describe with one statement per se, but I think it's definitely this just like camaraderie that is kind of reflected in our cheering.
Yeah. I think the special part about Central too is like, it's not just the captains even, like, yes, like that's like our job to do it. So like, obviously we have to like work towards it and stuff, but there are so many people on the team who didn't have to do any sort of leadership stuff, and like they still were amazing. Like Halina, first of all, like she was such an inspiration to everyone, and I think that everyone really looked to her, and like she built a lot of lovely connections herself. And
I mean, Laura also just like leading by example. Like I think everyone looks up to Laura, and in the way she acts around her peers and the way she runs, like she's always has this humility where like you'll see her like break the school record twice in one meet, and then she'll be like, oh, I guess it was good. How was your race? So I think that's like a big part of like the team culture. Like you make sure your teammates are doing well and like put that above yourself.
We got each other's backs.
Yeah.
Injury, no matter where you are, is always an isolating experience. Like it's just, you start losing like part of your identity just because of like, oh, you're not a runner anymore. I mean, obviously you are, but like it feels like you're not. You're sad because you're not running. And then on top of that, you kind of like miss out on a lot of like those moments with your teammates just because you're not racing or like you're not running. But I think just the strength of the Central community was really positive in that it didn't really focus as much on running, and it kind of did focus more on you holistically as a person first. So I think I was able to really still feel like included and kind of like I was part of something greater than myself. And just kind of like being there for the team kind of gave me a purpose during that injury recovery. Yeah. The coaches were amazing as far as like adjusting the workout plan to like me having to run less or like having to cross train more. And they were always like very much asking me like how I was doing specifically this year. They were really, really good about it.
I will say though, like Laura's kind of tenacity and like she did so much on her own. And I think she showed up for the team a lot last year, while she also was consistently cross-training by herself 5 to 6 times a week, in addition to spending 2 hours with the team a day. So while the team was a crutch for her in that sense, it was also like she had to show a lot of strength and a lot of like, she was very isolated in all the things she did to maintain her fitness and then come back stronger than ever. So
thanks,
props to her.
Yeah, huge props. Yeah. We'll expand more on that a little bit, but like so when you kind of went the process, would you say that there are, I guess, things that you kind of discovered about yourself as a person when you were injured? Like what did you learn about how you kind of go through these, I guess, hurdles
You know, I think I didn't learn it as much the first time, but I think being injured twice really nailed it in. The first time I got injured, I was kind of like very much, I had no idea where to go. It was a very hard experience for me. I didn't know when to start running again. The coaches at the time didn't really know what to do with it. Like they just didn't have that experience as much. And I think they were afraid to get me running too early. So I think there was a lot of self-doubt that kind of led to my injury taking a lot more time than it needed to. But then I got recommended a book called Rebound. I don't remember who wrote it, but it's a really good book. I started reading it back that junior year December when I was coming back the first time from my injury, and it really carried into my track season and taught me a lot of ways just to like think positive and stuff. I didn't ever finish it though. And then when I got injured the second time, I was like, well, it sounds like I need to read this book again. So I started from the beginning and I read it front to back. And just during practice, when everyone went on their run, I got out with my highlighters and I'd annotate it. And I would recommend that for anyone going through an injury process, because I think it taught a lot of like just how to like bounce back. I mean, that's the name of the book, just rebound. Like an injury, like you hit the ground, but then like, I don't know, you can only go up from there. Like you just got to use it as momentum. And I don't know. I think it gave me a lot of gratefulness for the sport.
Could you expand more on that book and what its bigger lesson or message was?
I think it's that in the face of adversity, there are some things that you can't do to change your situation, but you can adjust around it and still be just as successful, I guess. It's one of those books where it's not really linear, like it's not a specific story, but it's kind of more of just a narrative. It has sections like how to think positively, like mantra building, setting goals, like being smart with yourself, like feeding the athlete, which originally I thought was about nutrition. It's actually not. It's about feeding your brain positive thoughts, because positive thoughts build on more positive thoughts. Yeah, and I think just, I don't know, they interview runners who had really, really big injuries too. Like Carrie Tollefson is in it. Shout out to her. She's pretty cool. Love her. And that's the first step to anything, whether it's injury recovery or running fast.
Yeah, because you hear it all the time. Like it's not about like the situation here, and it's how you react to it.
We have no passions. We have no hobbies.
We keep talking about what we would say if someone was like, "Oh, what do you do for fun?" Like
this is always a very tough question. That
so I'm like, "Oh, I run." Then I talk about running.
Talk about running.
I've decided that my answer is always cooking and baking because
Yep.
It's like it's fun. Yes. It's chill. It's relaxing, and it's also important for running.
Exactly.
It's a great answer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because typically I'll get like I like to play with my friends. I like to go outside. I like to.
You need to balance. Yeah. Go out a little.
Go outside. You can do that when you run. Yeah.
There you go. I like being in nature.
Yeah.
That's also a good one too.
You have dogs.
I do have dogs.
You spend a lot of time with your dogs.
So do you, though.
I don't like my dog. Oh, no, I like my dog. He's a sweet. Yes. You spend more time with your dogs, though.
I love my dogs.
What are your dogs' names?
Olive and Junior.
What are your dogs' names?
Harry McClary.
Harry McClary.
Harry McClary.
Oh, that's much.
That's funny.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart. He's just a little crazy.
It's okay. So are we.
Yeah.
So Halina, when Laura was out and not competing, how did you and the Greater Central team kind of support her as she's going through her process?
Laura is one of my closest friends. I made sure to spend time with her outside of running because, well, running is life. Life is not just running. And so we did lots of other things that kind of, at least I hoped, kept her mind off of it.
It did. Got me through.
And so, just like having fun and like trying not to talk or think about running all the time, because I know like when you're injured, that's all you're thinking about. So we went to concerts, did lots of things, just hung out. We cooked and baked.
There we go. Hobbies. Let's go.
Hobbies. We went to Target a lot, just like basic things, but
intentional.
Yeah. And like the team, I think the team really utilized Laura because like she kind of mentioned she was there to support the team kind of in a different capacity during her injury. And I think the team really relied on that and kind of embraced her with open arms. She became captain. She was our number one cheerleader at the time, and cross country doesn't have cheerleaders. So that was very exciting. But just like kind of trying to make the best of a bad situation and reminding ourselves that it's not permanent, and kind of filling the time that she would spend running with other things that fill her cup, maybe not in the same way, but still try to fill her cup. Yeah.
How would you say that that helped build the friendship between you two?
I think our friendship is very nuanced because while we're able to be teammates and really push ourselves in that way, it was obviously the basis of how we connected because I've met Laura through cross country, but it's kind of the beautiful thing about it is that it's not just cross country. And so we're able to race each other and then we're able to go like do something completely different after. And I think just like in that friendship, it's kind of a reflection of life. Like there's so many different, it's multifaceted. And I think, we can lock in and compete against each other and then we can go get smoothie bowls.
Yeah, we still got to do that this summer.
Yeah.
Acai runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Laura can.
Adding on to that, I think like Halina's just like really been there for me. I don't know. We've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Trauma bonding.
Yes.
Whether that be running or else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know. She's a real one. She's pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to describe, but I think
I've used this quote, I think every single running episode I've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
And it relates to something that me and my friend, who also ran on my team, coined the term.
Okay.
Brotherhood through mutual suffering.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that.
Cool. But then you would eventually get better coming into sections. So like, what would you say, like, not just your morale, but the team morale at that point in the season was?
I think it was hopeful.
There was a lot of anticipation. And I think, that we never as a team had the opportunity to qualify or even think about it. Typically around sections for our team, we're in AAA. It's really hard to qualify for state. And so it's kind of like very bittersweet because it's known that it's the end for the team. And for one of the first times, it was like, this might not necessarily be the end. And it was a 50-50 mix of nervousness and excitement. And yeah.
I think there's a lot of fear almost. I guess, yeah, the nervousness.
Yeah.
But we were almost, I think a lot of us were almost afraid to hope.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. Because at that point you had ones in the 21st century. Like this is the first time.
Yeah. I think in the 1900s this happened.
Since our coach had been born.
Yeah.
Before all of us were even.
Yes, yeah. We did not exist when this happened.
Yeah.
So.
And that's kind of weird to think about. So you run it and you're pretty close together pretty much all the way to the end. Yeah. And you finish, I think it's within like the same second.
Yeah. I was like third and fourth. She was like ahead behind.
Right. So you were pretty sure you had the state qual, at least between the two of you.
We knew.
Yeah, in like not in the bag because anything can happen during a race, but you knew that you were going to state when you guys finished together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like, what was the first thing that you said to each other after you met at the finish line? Do you remember?
Oh gosh,
I just think we said we're going to state.
Yeah, I remember.
And we hugged.
Yeah.
And it was just. It was really like the perfect culmination of 4 years of running together. And like, we had two separate paths. Like I was kind of behind her for a minute and she was injured. And then, I didn't ever, like if you had asked me a year ago, would I have finished at sections with Laura? I would be like, no. And we did. And I think it was just like, she came back from injury. It was just this beautiful moment, and then we looked at the scoreboard.
All right, time out. This part I need to explain a bit more. So essentially in Minnesota for cross country at sections, the top 2 teams automatically advance to state. And then after that, the first 6 people who aren't members of those teams also advance. Now, Halina and Laura got 3rd and 4th individually, so they already did advance no matter what, no matter how the team did. But in order for the team to advance, the top 5 runners from the team, and only the top 5, not all 7 that actually run the race, the top 5 have to add to the least amount because you want to have, the least place, because first place is the winner. So at this point, White Bear Lake was in. They were in first. But Two Rivers and Central, when their 5 runners passed the line, the scores, the places added up to 60, so they were tied. Now, you can't bring 3 teams out of a section to state, so their tiebreaker was essentially the place of a 6th runner. So the 5 people from both of the teams had to sit there at the corral and wait to see whose 6th runner would finish first. And Central's 6th runner happened to be Katie Norton-Bauer, who actually came into the meet with walking pneumonia. So let's resume. So when you guys were finishing and just kind of sitting in the corral,
Yeah.
what was it like waiting for the other 5 runners to finish?
I was
like, what was that feeling like?
I was like, oh, like they have to go. Like, I just remember like mentally like willing like all of my leftover energy like to them, I guess.
I remember, and they were calculating the scores as they were finishing, and I just remember being like, all I could think in my head was it would be so horrible if we didn't qualify, and
you two did.
And we did.
Yeah.
I would be like, it would be so, I just remember thinking like, this would be so much worse if it was just 2 of us versus 9.
So you guys qualify for state for sure, but you're waiting for your 5 and you just see them putting it run one by one by one by one by one. And I imagine you're kind of like mentally thinking about where they are in relation to like the other members. Like when I was at state, I would count like 1 Tonka, 2 Edina, because like where they were in position. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're doing that, maybe you weren't. Doesn't matter too much. But for a moment, the 2 qualifiers for state were White Bear Lake and Two Rivers, and you guys missed it by 1 place.
Yeah.
So what was that feeling like in the moment, just seeing like that double-edged sort of, oh, cool, I made it to state, but my team didn't?
I just remember being like, it was 1 point. Like, it's almost worse.
It felt so defeating because like the past years we'd get fit and I'd be like, well, it wasn't happening. But like having it for us and then almost having it for them, it was like, it almost felt like unfair because I was like, we practically have it and we don't. And at that point I was like, yes, I'm going, but we're not going. So it didn't feel like it even, not that it didn't matter, like it was a big deal, but like I was just like, this is not how I wanted this.
I think for me, it was one of those things where I was really excited, but I think I was just more worried about how the team would react more. Like I was just like not really concerned for myself, but concerned for them.
I just remember, I don't think I really processed how I was feeling. I just remember being around the team and just feeling like this sadness. And, that's part of sport. And not everybody's going to win. It was very like, you could just feel the weight in the air and like there was a heaviness, and it was like at that point in time, I stepped out of my individual performance and like you just had to be a teammate and support those who were feeling a different level of sadness than you were because you had qualified for state and everyone was blaming themselves. I remember that.
Like we come later, people were crying.
Someone was like, I should have placed 1 place higher. Like I didn't kick hard enough. And it's like, then this is when we have to come together and remember why we're doing this.
Yeah. But then our teammate Katie rallied even with walking. Gosh, what was it?
She had walking, our 6th girl, who was a tiebreaker. She had walking
pneumonia.
Whooping cough, something crazy.
Yeah, there was a whooping cough outbreak.
And she made it. She was the deciding factor.
And she wasn't going to race.
Yeah.
So she came in with a whooping, or whatever it was. She came in sick.
Yeah.
What was her role in the race? Really, like what was her, I guess, thought process going into it?
I think what it was well, how she was the difference. She came in 6th on the team,
Yep.
and it was a tie between Two Rivers and Central. And I think she was just kind of like ready to go. She like, I don't know, Katie's like so positive and just like a bouncy ball of energy. I don't know.
And our coach, love him, shout out. He's really big on packing. So we packed together, which is why we were able to place together so high. But then in addition to that, I think 3rd through 6th girls, they packed together. And so it was kind of like, we need to be stronger together because we don't know who's going to finish in 5th and we don't know who's going to finish in 6th. And so there was never a mentality like, oh, I'm the 6th runner, this is a throwaway race for me. It was always like, no, I'm part of this team. I'm part of this pack. Let me work together with them and do our best. And so that was kind of her mindset from my understanding. I don't want to speak on her behalf, but she was still a member of the team. And so she gave it everything she had.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the sport.
Yes.
And for her perspective, it's like, you know, she's part of the team. She's part of it, not just the 7, but the whole team. And the vibe I've gotten from Central so far is you really like win as a team and you also lose as a team. Like the whole team feels it, which way it goes. So what happened?
We won it.
Yeah. Yeah, the vibes were high coming back. We went to Canes.
Yeah. Shout out Canes. Love you, Canes.
Yeah, that was insane.
So it literally led down to Katie,
Yes.
who was 6th,
Yes.
because it was a tiebreaker.
Yep.
And she walked in with walking pneumonia, or I want to say running pneumonia now.
Running pneumonia.
Running pneumonia.
Yeah.
And she won it for the team.
Yes.
So the whole team's going to state.
Yeah.
So what was it like getting that celebration, just getting that sweet glory?
It was great.
I mean, I couldn't have thought of a better way to end a cross-country season or like
Yeah, our
a cross-country
senior year
career
cross-country
within
season.
school.
I think
Awesome.
there's just a lot of excitement now, like
The
going
future.
into the next years. Like
Yeah.
we've done it once, we can do it again. I mean, we're done, but they've
Yeah.
done it once, they can do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a thing with like teams that qualify once for state. Like it tends to happen in waves. Like it'll happen once and it'll happen again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
With that momentum that I'm sure you guys have really done a great job at, you know, pushing on the team. Not only like this past year, but like throughout your entire career. And I think it's just gonna like cascade onto an even better next year and next year and next year and next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like, I think every year running is just getting better and better. Like the young people,
Young people.
Trackflation.
Trackflation, it's happening and it's so exciting to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Laura, you've run at state in the past alone.
Yes.
So what was it like having your whole team behind you this time?
Oh, it's so much better. It was just, I mean, okay, sophomore year I had Katie, which was nice.
Mhm.
We were a little dynamic duo. It was fun. But just the vibe that you get from running with your team, like, again, it almost takes the pressure off just because, like, you're running for your team. Like, and it's just a reminder, like, you're all there together, you're having fun, and you're just running your heart out.
How did you say that going to state together really solidified the team culture, and how would it like draw you guys closer?
I think it showed that you can be connected and supported and you can be competitive.
Yeah. And our team has struggled with that in the past.
Especially as an inner city school, like we normally get trampled. And so it's kind of hard to want to try almost
Yeah.
because you're like, no, I'm just going to lose. Like us compared to Minnetonka, like it's not even a competition. And so it's like, no, I'm a competitor and I can have this camaraderie that's been carrying us through all these years of losing and I can win and I can do both.
It was beautiful.
How did the rest of the team that wasn't running at state support you guys?
A lot of them came.
A lot of them came
Which is really
and a lot of them came to the practices between sections and state. Like we were still a big team running together.
Yeah.
Even when they should have been on their rest week. So
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
nice.
That's interesting. This year, you guys ran the 4x8, and something happened during that race. So break that race down for me real quick.
we broke the school record.
There we go.
Yay!
Would you say it was like an intentional attempt, or would you say?
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
Yes.
It was very intentional.
It was very intentional.
It was right after Hamlin. So, like, Halina just ran the 32, and I just ran the 16. And I think we were kind of, like we were really running off of some good momentum, but also I think our coach wanted us to not really hardcore race that week. So he was like, I'm going to put you in the 4x8. We're going to try and break the school record. And then, yeah. Also, it was the conference relays, so the relay thing was intentional.
Yeah. And I would say it was really exciting because it's, Central, we don't necessarily always have a lot of depth, but we had enough depth, tongue twister, this year to make a 4x8 team that could break the record, which hasn't happened in the past 4 years. And so it was definitely really fun to kind of not celebrate like our speed, but kind of just like have this
embrace your speed,
embrace it, and have this fun relay where we could do something really cool for it's similar to the sections.
Yeah.
So Laura, you won the Athena Award.
Yes.
You won the Athena Award this past year, so huge congrats on that.
Thank you.
Obviously, it represents like leadership and service of the absolute like supreme order. But say you had to give the award to somebody else on the team this year, who would you give it to and why?
Halina Tompkins, easy.
I feel like you can't
Girls
say that I'm
on
next.
her grind. She is locked in. You should see her volunteer hours. They're crazy. I mean, we have to count them for NHS. I'm not the one who counted yours, but I bet they were insane. And let's see, Case Western, math major. She's super smart. Math stuff is her deal. She's in like Calc BC. Her mom is a math teacher.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah. Speedy. She's smart. She's beautiful. What more can a girl want? So
I would say the same thing about Laura.
And an amazing leader, of course.
Aww.
So yeah.
And now you're done. Now we're going to college. So how do you feel about the transition?
I'm so excited. I'm so
I'm so excited.
Central was fun, but we've had our time there.
Yeah.
It's time to move on.
It's really exciting to go into a new environment, and like it's just in a weird way it's like a different level of locked in. I think we're getting so much guidance from our coaches, and there's so much excitement like connecting with our teammates and doing summer training. It's just really fun, and it's kind of you spend so much of high school thinking about college and whether you're going to run and who you're going to run for, and kind of being there and just being able to do it finally is so nice.
Yeah. And just having like 4 more years, that's exciting because I don't know. I think we've changed a lot in 4 years just on the high school team. So hopefully we build on that momentum.
Yes.
It'll be lit.
So,
of course, though, I'm very sad that
I'm
we're
ripped apart from
ways.
my training partner.
Yeah, training buddy for life.
Yeah.
so Halina, why Case Western?
Full transparency, I didn't think I was going to run in college until April of this year. And I had kind of narrowed it down to some schools for just academics. And I was able to get a pretty substantial scholarship from them. So I was really looking at that school generally. And then I met with the coach, kind of building on the momentum of my track season. And she shared so much excitement. She's incredible. She single-handedly made me want to run for them. The team environment is great. She reflects kind of similar values as our coach this year, like just an excitement for running and an excitement for our performance and like wanting us to get better while also protecting our holistic self.
Yeah.
And so I've gotten a lot of one-on-one support from her, and I'm going to go fast so your phone doesn't die. But it's such an incredible team, and, I'm so lucky to continue to run. Yeah.
And I know we'll dive into more of the holistic focus with Laura's obviously predictable question, but Laura, why'd you pick UMN?
I mean, it's the U. Like, I don't know. At first, I kind of wanted to go out of state, but then I realized kind of everything I wanted was here. Like, the coaching is amazing. The environment is amazing. I just remember going on my official visit this fall, and I was like, wow, everyone is so nice. The teammates it seems like such a positive environment where everyone just, like, supports each other. And the academics are great. Sports are great. It's a big school, a lot of resources, a lot of good research opportunities. Yeah.
For sure. All right. At the end of the episode, I ask you guys the same 3 questions. So, number 1, how do you take care of your mental health outside of running?
I journal like every day. Like, not kidding. Like, even if it's just a page, I don't know. I figured out it helps. And just taking deep breaths.
I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I love my therapist. But also just like having a life outside of running, I think saves your mental health within running and just generally like spending time with friends that don't do cross country.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really big for me. So yeah.
What she said also.
What advice would you like to give to athletes just starting out running?
It's not that deep. Just run, have fun. Speed will come later.
I think just focus on the things you can control. You know, there's so much in running. Like you can't control your competitor. You can't control the competition. Just focus on your running and love the grind. Come back to that. You run because you like to do it. So just keep running because you like to do it.
Also, mantra, just keep swimming. Gotta put that plug in.
There you go.
And finally, describe running in 3 words.
Oh gosh, that's really hard.
I'm gonna say rewarding.
You took mine. Keep going.
Heartbreaking. Challenging? I don't know. But there's more that I want
I'd
to say.
say roller coaster.
Oh, good.
Fulfilling and fun.
Yeah. And speaking of fun, this was a great episode to record, so we're going to close it off right now. Thank you so much, Halina. Thank you so much, Laura, for your time.
Thank you.
So what did we learn from Laura and Halina? We learned about injury and how it can be so disorienting as an athlete and a threat to their identity. Laura expressed how her identity as a runner and a teammate is impacted when she can't run anymore, and which leads us to point number 2, is affected by community support. When Laura was injured, she turned to her community, and her community turned back to her. I think when someone gets injured, it falls on both the team and the injured athlete to support each other, not just one of the two. Laura and Maddie Gullickson from 2 episodes ago supported their team by just being there for their teams, helping out with workouts and stuff. But the team also needed to include the injured athletes in the team so the athlete's identity as a teammate is retained. And finally, there's a lot to take away from Central State qualifying berth. First, it goes back to the community as Laura felt so much better and had a much better experience running with the team at state versus alone at state like she had in previous years. Second, it just shows that you can't put limits on yourself and your team, and even though a series of combinations of runners and coaches have gone since 1999, it was always a possibility the whole time for Central to go to state. Third, it just shows what's required to do well in cross country. It's a team sport, and the entire team, not just the top 2 or 3 runners at sections, have the ability to influence the outcome. Remember, it was the 6th runner, Katie Norton-Bauer, who sent the team to state by placing kind of 2 Rivers 6th runner. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you can take something away from our time together. I encourage all of you to share this episode to a friend who would learn something from this conversation. I'm Nate Unger, and this was Laura McClary and Halina Tompkins. Unger the Radar. Now, go be a light to the world.